What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the THCtemple, and check this out, man, because today we're going to be talking about marijuana addiction. Because if you guys didn't know, and if you're new here and you didn't know, let me explain it to you. Let me break it down for your ass. Let me fix my speaker here, first of all, because the shit fucked up. Now it's back to life. Damn, I ain't about to make another take 2 of this video. Y'all don't know how many times I started this. Well, I've only started this video one time. I was about to complain. I ain't complaining today. We're just making a video. But today we talking about marijuana addiction. And the reason I say that is because you guys know here at the THCtemple, like I said, if you don't know, let me break it down to you. I like to give you the positives and the negatives of marijuana. You know, sometimes when folks talk about weed, you know, they're like, oh man, it's the greatest thing to ever touch the planet. It's this and that and whoop whoop and hot and hot. And weed is very powerful. But you know, like my boy Uncle Ben said in the Spider-Man movies, yeah, he the first nigga that said that. With great power comes great responsibility. So, you know, weed, you know what I'm saying, especially when you're smoking that gas, it's very powerful, you know what I'm saying, very strong, and you know what I'm saying, it comes with a lot of responsibility too, you know, it's not just, you know, roll up and light it up and that's it, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of things to, you know, it's a lot that comes with marijuana. It's not a big burden, but you know what I'm saying, like I said, with anything on the world, no matter how good it is, there's some things you have to do to enjoy it responsibly, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, okay, main topic of the video, main question is, can you get addicted to marijuana? Now, like I said, a whole lot of people, you know, like most marijuana endorsers, what the fuck is that? Endorsers or enthusiasts or connoisseurs of the plant, you know, most people who defend weed, activists or whatever, you know, they're one of their you know, big points of it, you know, I'm a marijuana enthusiast myself, you know, I'm talking to them like they're, you know, they say, you know, like DJ Khaled, you know, they don't want us to get high, they want us to get stoned, whatever. Either way, my whole point of it is, when it comes to the marijuana, you know, one of the biggest points of it is, especially versus other drugs or versus alcohol or versus anything else, is that, you know, you can't get addicted to it, or, you know, it doesn't kill you, you know, like you can't overdose on it or a whole lot of things like that. And that's some things about it, you know, like I said, can you really actually get addicted to pot? Actually, you know, you can in a sense. And when I say you can, like, well, okay, when you talk about other drugs, and let me hit this bowl too, and we'll talk about more, you know, how you can get addicted to marijuana, because I know some of you are like, what, you can't get addicted? And some of you are probably like, oh yeah, bro, we already know, blah, blah, blah. Hey, let me break it down for the folks. So let's talk about it, okay? Let me hit this bowl, and then we're gonna chat it up. Okay, so, like I said, you can get addicted to marijuana, but it's kind of, and like I said, okay, no, let me just go in one direction first. You can get addicted to pot, and it's more of a physical, not a physical, but a mental addiction. And the reason, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, because at first I was going to say, yeah, you can get addicted to weed, but it's just like you can get addicted to anything else, you know. But I think that sounds a little too defensive, you know what I'm saying? So let me just be more realistic about it. You know, just like a fat dude, you know, he can get addicted to cheeseburgers. He's not addicted in a sense, you know, where he needs a cheeseburger every day. Like, if he doesn't get a cheeseburger, like he'll like shake and his body will like explode or something, but he's like mentally adapted to cheeseburgers. And that's kind of like the same thing that happens to weed, you know. You can get a mental adaptation to it, you know, like you can get mentally to the point where you think that you need it every day, and if you don't have it, you know, you'll be moody or you'll be upset, you'll be angry. People, you know, who smoke cigarettes, is kind of more of a mental thing too. And now there's also, you know, it moves to where it's a physical addiction. And that's where, you know, other drugs, that's kind of the difference between weed and other drugs, because weed doesn't really have that strong of a physical addiction on people. And really, you know, scientifically, like, because they haven't studied, you know, especially, you know, the weed that we smoke nowadays, you know, they haven't studied it, you know, through, you know, in and out, up and about, because, you know, there are a lot of people, you know, that I've read online, you know, where they'll say that they have, you know, withdrawal symptoms and, you know, other physical symptoms of marijuana addiction, but most people don't. So for the most part, you know, they say that, you know, weed doesn't have any physical, you know, withdrawals or physical addiction symptoms. But, you know, basically, okay, like what I'm trying to say is, you know, people who do like pills, like opiates, or, you know, just like pain pills or stuff like that, or even, you know, if they do heroin or cocaine, because pretty much every other drug has like physical withdrawals or physical addiction symptoms, like alcohol. Somebody who's drinking alcohol fucking every day, you know, for like 5 or 6 years, if they go a day without a bottle, or they go a day, you know, without a drink in their system, like they'll start to shake, or they'll start to, hold on, let me change this track real quick. They'll start to have the shakes, or they'll start to do this, or like they'll start, their heart will be beating out of place. They'll have the sweats, you know, they'll literally have physical things that happen where, you know, their body is trying to let them know, hey, you know, we need that. Because the reason that, you know, you'll have physical addiction symptoms and shit like that is because these drugs like heroin and whatnot, they, you know, the reason that you feel good when you smoke weed is because, you know, it's like a thing called, and don't, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me on it, and don't, you know, hang me if I'm wrong, but it's because the dopamine levels in your brain, and dopamine is kind of like the feel good hormone in your brain and your body. So, you know, when you smoke weed, you know, it lets a little bit more dopamine out into your system, and when you shoot some heroin, you know, it lets a shitload of dopamine out into your brain and your body, so you feel really good. So when you stop using that drug, you know, your brain isn't getting as much dopamine as it was getting. So, you know, and usually, you know, like your body's supposed to, you know, have natural, you know, a natural amount of dopamine flowing without, you know, using any kind of drug. So when, like I said, every day, if your brain is getting that overdose of dopamine, as soon as it's getting, you know, not as much, it's like, whoa, dude, you know, it's like, goddamn, you know, fucked up. And then like they stop your brain, like I said, your brain, after you start to use the shit for like 6, 7, you know, for a long time, your brain can't, you know, produce its own natural dopamine without it, you know. So like I said, if you stop using it, your brain is kind of like, yo, we need to shoot up, yo, we need to pull up, we need to do something, you know, we need that drug, we need to pop some pills, we need to snort a line. Your body is trying to let you know, like, that's why people, like I say, you know, if they haven't had a bottle in a day and they've drank for years or whatever, they'll have the shakes and they'll have this and that. That's literally like signals that their body is trying to give them to let them know, hey, we need our you know. That's why it gets up to that point, you know how we call weed medicine. It gets up to a point where literally, and that's why they call addiction like a sickness. It gets up to a point where like people aren't even using heroin anymore to get high, you know, to get that original high that they used to get. Now they're using it just to, you know, keep that sickness away. And like I said, now it's literally their medicine, that cocaine, that beer, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, when it comes to pop, physical addictions aren't, you know, like I said, there's not enough scientific evidence to really prove that marijuana has physical addiction symptoms. But like I said, just on the level of anything else, pot, you know, is definitely mentally addictive, you know what I'm saying? You can definitely get to the point of, you know, where if you haven't smoked that day, you know, you're moody and antsy, or, you know, you have anxiety, you know, bad anxiety, really bad if you don't have it, or stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Just little thing, like I said, any kind of mental thing that you can have. But like I said, people can definitely be mentally addicted to the internet, mentally addicted to this, mentally addicted to that. You can be mentally addicted to anything. But like I said, the thing that makes a physical addiction so strong is the fact that you literally can't get over it mentally. Because that's, you know, what you have to do to get over a mental addiction is get over it. And now that's hard too, because the human brain is probably like the strongest thing that, you know, it's probably the strongest obstacle against us humans, our fucking brains, you know. That's, so, you know, that's definitely a mental, you know, feat is definitely, or a mental battle is definitely hard to fight too as well. But it's literally, like I said, when fucking just imagine if you didn't smoke weed, because I'm pretty sure, you know, most potheads can go, you know, a day or two without weed. You know, we may not want to, but we can. You know, we can go a week, we can go a month. A heroin addict or crackhead or whatever, they literally can't. Like, they literally just can't, like, they don't have that choice. Like, oh yeah, I can just not, you know, their fucking stomach will fall out of their ass. And like alcoholics, they're literally, like, especially depending on how long they've been drinking or how, you know, bad their body is adapted to it, they could literally not just quit cold turkey, because they'll die. Like, they'll have a heart attack or something, like, you know, they can't just quit cold turkey. You know, their body is literally be like, dude, you know, we can't do that. Like, they'll just shut down on them. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when it comes to pop, no physical addictions. Like I said, I once knew a girl in high school, she said that, like, she gets sick when she doesn't smoke weed, like she throws up, like, if she doesn't smoke weed for a day or two or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. There's all you know, you'll hear, you know, oh, this guy over here, oh yeah, man, I get bad gas when I don't fart, or I do, when I don't smoke, or I do this and that, you know. You always probably hear stuff out there, and, you know, there's definitely, like I said, weed is not perfect, you know, weed is not, it's not for everybody, you know. Everybody can just blow it down every day, all day, every day, and get high. You know, it's not for everybody. So that's why I say, say, you know, we talk about the positives and the negatives of weed. You know, I'm not going to come out here and say that just because, you know, weed doesn't have any physical addiction features that you can't, you know, that it's not addictive. Because, you know, especially if somebody, you know, if they're not making enough money, you know, somebody in school, you know, should definitely be using their money towards other things. They should definitely not, you know, get to the point where they're spending all their money on weed. They're stealing stuff out of the house and all that. You know, that's the same level of addiction as crack and stuff like that. Just because it's weed doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, you can definitely get up to that mental addiction where you'll have to do anything for it, or you want it all the time, or if you don't get it, you're angry or shit like that. You know, we can definitely do that too. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it doesn't or it can't. It definitely can. So that's why I say you always have to be responsible, no matter what you're doing, no matter how good whatever you're doing is, or whatever the case is. You always have to be responsible, man. Especially, like I said, and that's definitely the thing, when it's good as fuck, that's when you have to be really, you know what I'm saying, that's when you have to be really responsible then, you know what I'm saying? Just like having sex. Sex is really dope, so you have to be responsible when you're doing it, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I say, it's like the better the thing is, the more responsible you have to be. Drinking alcohol is really fun, so you gotta be responsible. Getting pussy, very dope. Gotta be responsible. You know, everything that's very dope, you have to be responsible. So smoking weed ain't nothing different. Gotta be responsible. So, I mean, there isn't really a condom for your bong. It's just the whole thing of, like I said, just staying in that mental space of, you know what I'm saying? It like, you know how they say people like self-medicate and things like that. If you have any problems in your life or things like that, don't ever try to use weed to run away from those problems. You know, of course, you know, you can use the weed to, you know, help you, you know, get through it and shit like that, but don't ever try to run away with it, you know, because you can definitely use weed, like some people use crack and alcohol and all types of stuff like that to run away from their problems, and you never want to run away from it. You know, you always want to find a way to somehow, you know, conquer your problems and shit like that, because if you never conquer them, they'll always come back. Weed isn't that strong that it can destroy anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole point of it, you know what I'm saying? Just know where you're at, and just know, you know, how you use medicine and what you use it for, and you'll pretty much be alright. I reckon. I hope so. Either way, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because if I don't, y'all already know this video will probably be about 25, 35, 65, 75 minutes long, and I don't want to do that to y'all. Not today. Probably tomorrow. But who knows, man. I love y'all, man. And we're going to be up in the building tomorrow. And I'm going to be up in the building later on. And all that good shit. So stick around and stay around. And I don't know, man. Hey, that one bowl got me feeling a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling a little wuddy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm up in the building. And I love y'all, man. Check it out.